Danny writes in. He
Hey,
says
Danny.
Beyond.
Beyond.
Whilst the two games are completely different, which do you think will have the biggest impact on the industry and why? Grand Theft Auto 5 or The Last of Us? Andrew Goldfarb.
Yeah, I mean, it is like apples and oranges, right? Like, I think it's so weird going into next gen. And I mean, GTA, I don't know, will have necessarily more of an impact than it has in the past because, like, by basically launching the sandbox genre into being what it is, I think GTA kind of already had its biggest impact.
Right.
But that said, I mean, just by raising the bar for, as again, the biggest scale and the biggest game, like, yeah, like then the next game wants to be able to say like, oh, well, we're twice as big as GTA 5, and like maybe it won't be as high quality like they were saying before. Like the size of the map doesn't have to mean anything, but hopefully it inspires people to make bigger open world games and things like that. Whereas The Last of Us is more about narrative. It's more about storytelling in games. It's more about like I think it proves finally, and like Heavy Rain and a lot of other things have done this, but The Last of Us really proves that like the mocap and performance and acting and everything all being one person is the best model, because you're going to get the most movie-like performances. You're going to get the most authentic performances of Troy Baker is Joel and Ashley Johnson is Ellie, and I think in that way it will probably have a bigger impact that's recognizable and immediate to us, I would imagine.
I agree with what you're saying. I think that's the whole point, right? Like, I don't know, and I'm not doing one of these or my day or one. I'm so old, but like you have to understand that GTA 3 changed everything.
Yeah.
Right. Like I remember, I say this story all the time, so sorry to bore you, but I was a big fan of GTA 2. Like me and my friends would backyard wrestle, and then we'd come in and we'd drive around and kill all the Elvises, and that was top down 2D. Just how many stars can we get? And when I saw that first screenshot for GTA 3, I was like, no way are they going to make the game I've been playing 2D 3D open world. There's no possible way. And you played that game, and that's what invented the sandbox genre as you know it. You know what I mean? And so it sucks to say, but like GTA 5 came out and it's a 10, and pretty much everyone expected that.
Yep.
I don't know how many things people are going to look at and say, oh man, our game should be more like that. Everybody already knew their game should be more like this. It's the fact that when you're talking about the biggest impact from a one-by-one game, I think Last of Us is going to get it because of the fact that it did. Like, first off, I mean, think of it this way, right? Like, we always talk about, like, oh, you have to have a number on the end of your title to sell games. No. Last of Us came out and was like, with the proper marketing, with the proper pedigree, people aren't stupid. We're getting to the point where you understand that, like, if I was to say, oh my gosh, this, Joss Whedon film is going to be awesome, you understand that a Naughty Dog game is going to be awesome. I'm a money hat or whatever you want to say. But for the sake of argument, just stick with me. All right?
Sure.
I'm talking to them. I know you don't care.
Off.
You're not even listening right now. You're just nodding. And can't wait to play GTA.
I'm so drunk right now.
But I mean, you talk about performances and story and narrative, and that's the thing that for me honestly stands out about like the flaws of GTA, right? Is the fact that animations don't look all that great. There is a jank here and there. When I'm watching a cutscene, their faces don't animate and like get me lost, and I'm like, oh, I'm watching a game. Like, I mean, I am watching puppets. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where there's a stark difference when you're in a cutscene with an NPC that's talking to you, and you're in an outfit you created, right? Your outfit then doesn't blend in anymore as well like theirs does. It doesn't set. Whereas with The Last of Us, right? Like you're pressing, the way you press against walls and the way you have those conversations when you walk up to Ellie and all these little things that make you feel and look, and again, I get why there's these differences. And this is something we brought up in the live stream, right? That people were like, Ryan and I were saying how great GTA 5 looks, and then I've seen comments on the live stream and yada 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 of people like, this game doesn't look good. Look at the textures of the grass. And yeah, it's like, motherfucker, this is an open world. You know what I mean? Like, you can see for miles. Like, yes, it doesn't look as good as The Last of Us, which is I'm funneling down one of 3 hallways or whatever, where we can sit there and render everything and put these breaks in there. That GTA doesn't get that advantage, and that's why the games look different. But I think what Last of Us brought and the way it connected us with characters really changed is a lot of things. Like I did that change is a lot of things.
No, nicely done. No, I agree with that. I think it's Last of Us gets it right, because obviously we've seen like L.A. Noire and all these other things that like did performance capture and did all these things, but like you still had these like major problems with it. In that game, it was Uncanny Valley. In the ping pong suit, like you always call it, has been around for so long. I just feel like Last of Us is the first example where it's like I can totally understand why more and more mainstream people are coming in. Beyond Two Souls looks like it's going to be another one. Like, I mean, like performance capture has finally been nailed. I feel like for like the first time, I really feel confident that like when these big actors are being cast, like Kiefer Sutherland and Ellen Page and all these people, like they're going to be able to give a performance like they would give in a film if it was just on camera.
Users lose all sense of reality and enter another world. Remember, do not underestimate the power of PlayStation.